Hello world, it is Monday, November 27th, 2023, and looking out the window at Defiance, it's kind of an overcast, windy day, and it's cold. It was 31 degrees when I went running this morning, and I think that's about as warm as it's going to get today. It's supposed to be kind of cold today and tonight, although warming up a bit later in the week. The devotion for today is entitled In Place by Vince Amlin, and Vince bases the devotion upon Romans chapter 13, verse 11, New Revised Standard Version. Besides this, you know what time it is, for it is now the moment for you to wake from sleep. For salvation is nearer to us now than when we became believers. And Vince writes, the alarm rang, 3 a.m. Karen and I bundled into the clothes we'd set out the night before. No time to waste. We made our way across town, met up with the group, and headed into the mountains. As the vans got close to our destination, they slowed to a crawl, their lights as low as safely possible. Then 20 of us slipped out into the night, the crunch of snow under our boots, the only sound. We took our places in the Park Service trailer. No heat, absolute darkness, no reason to raise the binoculars around our necks. Half an hour later, people started leaning into their friends, asking, "Is that one?" "No, I think it's just a sagebush." But in another 15 minutes, we could see tiny black bundles tracing their way across the slightly less black ground. Finally, as the sun lit the plain, we were treated to one of the most incredible spectacles in the natural world, the mating ritual of the greater sage grouse. Dozens of birds strutting through the snow, their tails each a fan of brown spikes, their fluffy white chests puffed out, 2 yellow air sacs poking through. We followed the intricate steps of their dance, listening to their booming, burbling calls, and stared at one another in wondrous joy. To be witnesses to this stunning performance at the end of our long, cold vigil. Keep watch. Be ready. Trust that when the sun rises, there will be something to see. And Vince's prayer. Oh, love, is that you? A couple things came to mind as I was reading this devotion. One is just the incredible diversity of nature that we sometimes miss because we're not alert, we're not keeping watch, we're not ready, we're not looking. I really think sometimes it's important for us to be intentional about when we are out in the world to listen, to see, because there's maybe some incredible things going around us that we just miss. It reminds me of I was maybe 10 or 12 and lived out in the country, and I went to visit my sister in the city in Detroit, and went for a walk with her, and I heard a woodpecker pounding on a tree, I'm assuming, probably a pileated woodpecker from the sound of it. And I stopped and said, "There's a woodpecker." And she said, "What?" And I said, "Well, do you hear that noise?" And then she had to listen for a minute. She goes, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Well, that's a woodpecker." She hadn't even noticed it. It's just in background noise. So I think it's important for us to be aware, to open up our senses. It's getting harder and harder to do with, I think, smartphones and all that. You see people walking down the street staring at their phones, totally oblivious to what is going on around them. And I think that's kind of a shame because it also makes us oblivious to the things people are suffering through each and every day, instead of being aware and seeing what we can do and noticing. We become disconnected from the world, even from ourselves. So there were a few other things I was thinking about when I was reading this devotion, but that's what struck me was keep watch, be ready, pay attention to what's going on within you and around you. Hope you have a good day, and hope to talk to you again soon.